What's up, everyone? It's Trinidad, and I'm with Puddin.
Hi.
Here's a little special video. We're gonna do this part one. These are a showcase of your decks, of
Yes,
Puddin's
my
decks. The reason why we're putting these two first is it's a funny story. So your first commander deck was the original Judith, and it was a lot of triggers, a lot of stuff to keep track of.
remember.
It was the aristocrats, and it was just too much. It was too much. So we changed it to the the Jasmine Boreal deck, which was she's just a vanilla, but the whole deck was enchantments and
Creature, like
and
foxies.
yeah, the foxes, enchantments and stuff, and it was just a lot easier to get through. It was just attack, swing out, and some of the times you'll draw cards, like when with just the synergies that were in there. So that's how you started playing Commander with us, and years later,
Now I have
five decks. So these are the first two. So we just want to talk about them. That it's just funny. They have J's in their name, so people with J's name owe you magic cards. And we just talk about it. These, I think this is your most fair deck, the Jasmine Boreal, the 7. And these are the first ever katana sleeves I ever used. It was to buy it for your deck and to test it out, and I was like, these feel so good. They don't feel as good now.
No, after how long have
4, 5 years, I think.
And I played it a lot.
A lot. This was like for a while. This was like her only deck. So, but now, yeah, you have 5 since then. And then again, this is the Judith, the new one. That's crazy. This is your most unfair deck, I think.
My most fun deck.
Because it just pings and destroys everything. So this is just a showcase. Obviously, if you just want to see what's in the list, then I'll put a link down below on everything. So you can just look down there. So we're just going to quickly go through the decks, like deck profile. But yeah, Jasmine Boreal of the 7, legendary creature, human druid, 2/4, 1 in Selesnya, and then just taps to add green and white, and you spend it only on creatures with no abilities. We sometimes forget that.
Yes.
Especially me. I forget. I just keep thinking it's just for creatures.
But I have to remind you.
Yeah, and then the best part of the fact is creatures with no abilities that you control can't be blocked with creatures by creatures with abilities, so it just gets through for damage. So a lot of the creatures in here, more than half the creatures in here, have like no abilities. So ending with obviously the Jasmine. So we just quickly have like Savannah Lions, Expedition Envoy, Devilthorn Fox. So Foxy did keep in here. Raptor Companion. A lot of these are like 2 for 3, like 3/1s. Knight of New Benalia, Blade of the Sixth Pride, Dramoka Warrior. Because we don't really care if they have little
booties.
Little booties. They're just here to get through
Just
when we have Jasmine
do
out.
you have other things that give it big stuff?
Yeah.
An extra, but no. For now, it's just little ones.
Wicker Witch.
They don't do squats.
Which isn't even that good because it's 3 for a 3/1, but Elvish Ranger.
It's just to get damage through.
Yeah. Cardinals Plant. And Jasmine Boreal, which was your first commander. And
She's still in the deck.
She's still here, and she works. It helps out. This keeps it online. We were going to add in like the bigger creatures, but they're too mana restrictive, and they put a target on you. I feel like when you play the little ones, they're just little guys.
It's
so
to get them quick out.
Yeah, it's just to get them quickly out, swarm the board. If we were to change anything, we probably would add more protection or stuff to get back.
Because when I get board wiped, I can't come back.
Yeah, it's hard. It's harder to come back after a board wipe. And these are like the value creatures. We got Sculptor, Winter, and Rhyme to Ender. If you want to, you can take these out and change the snow stuff into normal lands, and then it'll just drop the deck price a little bit. Just because we're running snow lands in here. But yeah, Sculptor, Winter. You can just change these for like, what, Avacyn's Pilgrim or Land of War Elf, stuff like that. We got Spirited Companion, just because you like the card. The little Shiba Inu to help you draw. Flutter Fox, again, stayed in here from your old deck because it is a Foxy, and you do play art enchantments and stuff that help out, so it gets flying. Augur of Autumn, Runic, just help you draw. Rumor Gatherer, just help draw again. Kadira, there's another sub-theme in here, and it's making tokens, so this one can make rabbit tokens. Queen Elena is just, it powers up by all the creatures in control, and then if one or more tokens would be created, you create an extra token, the extra little soldier. So again, more tokens. Totski, so then when you get through, you draw cards. Roxa, creatures without abilities get +1/+1, so they get stronger. One of the first anthems. And if they would get blocked, then I think what happens here is, oh no, when he enters the battlefield or attacks, return target creature with no ability. So he's one of the only ways to get back creatures after they've been sent to the graveyard. And then you may have creatures you control with no abilities assign their combat damage as though they weren't blocked. So if they do block with like a token or something, if your opponents make tokens, then if you have this, you're gonna get through. Lenore, again, just to help with draw. Garrick's Pack Leader to help with drawing. Maja or Maha, other creatures get +1/+1, so another anthem effect. And then whenever a land enters, you create a 1/1 human warrior token. So more token creation. And then this stayed your Vulpine Goliath.
My beautiful, beautiful
just
boy.
A big fox that has trample.
Look how beautiful he is.
He's big. And then if you get some of your power-ups, your anthems, he just gets bigger and then has more trample damage. Added this one in lately. You haven't gone to play this one yet. But Elspeth's Sun Champion is really cool. Its +1 is really strong. You just create 3 1/1 tokens. -3, you destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater. And so if you don't have any power-ups and you have a lot of those, yeah, you're all 3/1s. They're all safe from this board wipe. And then -7, which you probably never get to, but you get an emblem with creatures you control get +2/+2 and have flying. But you never go for that because you want them to have no abilities. We'll just quickly go through the artifacts. So yeah, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Selesnya Signet, Swiftfoot Boots, Commander Sphere, and Halo Fountain to help also create more tokens and then help draw cards. More ramp with Rampant Growth, Nature's Lore, 3 Visits, Farseek. Into the North, which is good for Snowlands. Again, if you don't want to do Snowlands, you can take this out and switch it for other things. Idyllic Tutor, you actually have a tutor in here. Harmonized, draw cards. Shatter the Sky, you have, what, a few board wipes, 3 board wipes right here. Shatter the Sky, Cleansing Nova, and Martial Coup. Which this one's kind of cool because if you pay 5 or more, you destroy all the creatures, but then you can make the 5 or more tokens. So it's just, it can build a board. So more removal, Swords to Plowshare. Just the one of, I think this one was supposed to be in the front of that, but oh well. Rapid Vigor, Eldrami's. Oh yeah, that's right. This is the instants. Those are sorceries. So Rapid Vigor to help regenerate. So if you get board wiped with all your creatures, you're able to keep them from dying. Eldrami's Call, which it went up in price, but when we found this at a game store that was selling Magic cards, and I think this was like $3 at the time, and it's just gone up since then. So we got really lucky finding that. Croson Grip, Make a Stand, another way to keep your creatures indestructible. On Thin Ice, probably change this out for like, I don't know. We have Swords to Plowshare. What's the other one? Path to Exile, I guess. Path to Exile, if you want to switch it out, if you don't want to run the snow stuff. Ground Seal, which can be a block. When you play it, you draw a card, but cards in graveyards can't be the targets of spells or abilities. And so that hurts a lot of graveyard-themed decks.
I'll say, don't I have a graveyard? You
have 1 card, which is the Bear. So you don't really care too much about graveyard stuff. But yeah. Yeah, it's a blow. Elemental Bond to draw cards, Garrick's Uprising draw cards. Squirrel Nest to make tokens of squirrels, especially the fat one. Let me go grab it.
That's my favorite squirrel.
This one I pulled from Unstable a long time ago. And this kept, I think you saw this token. I was like, hey, there's a card that can make it, and you wanted it right away.
It's a fat squirrel. Who doesn't like fat squirrels?
It stayed in here.
They're kind of scary though in person.
Oh yeah.
But in drawings, they're really cute.
We did have a squirrel that lived in front of our house. 2 squirrels actually.
They weren't scared of us.
Spear of Heliod. This is another anthem. Guardian Project to draw cards. What is this? Muraganda. Petroglyphs. Creature with no abilities get +2/+2. One of the cards you search for actively, other than another one here. Rabble Rousing, help you make more and more tokens whenever you attack. And then this one, Collective Blessing. This is like your favorite enchantment here. All your creatures get +3/+3. Oh, yeah. So for 6 mana, especially when you already have your board full and you don't have anything else to do, you just get this. They all become like 6s, and it's, oh my gosh.
It's worth it.
And then for the lands, we'll just quickly go through Command Tower, Temple Garden, Arctic Tree Line. Nothing too crazy. This one has the pumpkins I think you liked. And then, yeah, Snowlands. Nothing too crazy. Again, link down below. And we're already at 10 minutes, so we'll quickly get through the Judith deck. Maybe we'll split some other stuff because we have another deck we're building for you, which is also Selesnya. So that one's a secret for right now until it comes in. But your Judith basically gives, you get to do, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you choose one. The spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink. It's horrible. Or create a 2/2 red imp creature token with when it dies, deal 2 damage to each opponent. Still horrible. Whatever you get out.
Fun.
And you can use them as like fodder to like, what is it? Use your draw spells to sack things. So your deck is mainly instant and sorceries. I think there's 18 sorceries and like 17 instants. So it's like 30. The chunk of the deck is that.
Damn.
Faithless Looting. So whenever you play the draw spells, you make tokens. That's kind of like the gist of it. You make tokens. And then your burn spells, you give it Death Touch and Lifelink to kill everything. So yeah, like Blazing Volley. Deal 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls. Yeah, you give that one. You give this one the Imp. And then this one the Death Touch Lifelink. And the Festivities, Mizium Mortars, Scourging Sands, Boiling Earth, Smash to Dust. They're horrible. You need Tectonic Hazard or something like that. We don't have that. We couldn't find anywhere. But that would be like for this one instead. Setting Demise, we'd probably switch that one out. Sign in Blood again. You just make imps and then you draw cards. Barrage of Boulders. Pointed Discussion. Cataclysmic Wave. Hazarded Blast. Feed the Infection. Thunder Wave so you can roll dice and have fun. Diabolic Tutor. And then sometimes if you know that they're going to like burn you as well, maybe you don't want to lose your Judith, you can actually just make tokens instead, you know? So that's another way to do the play pattern. Diabolic Tutor, one little tutor in here. Meteor Blast. Blasphemous Act. Oh, this thing you've played and you went to like 200 life or something like that?
Oh, that was fun. Didn't I die?
You died to commander damage in that game, I think. But it was one of your first times playing it, and when you blaspheme, I think one of our players in the pod had like 10 creatures, so just by himself you gained like 133.
That's so funny.
It was crazy. Electrickery for starting off the instance, and this one is 1 red, but 1 in a red, then it does 1 damage to each creature you don't control, so it's crazy. Dual Shot. Village Rites, so these ones, you have to sacrifice a creature in addition, then draw 2 cards. So you can't play it and then make it first and then tribute it or whatever, or sack it. Just because that's not how the card works. So
I tried.
Which would be crazy if you can do it, but it's an addition to cast it. So the cast trigger wouldn't activate until after it's... Yeah, so, yeah, just saying, you gotta play these little ones first, or even in some of your burn spells, to get things out, then create imps. But once you do have imps, you just sack them, burn everyone for 2, draw cards.
And draw cards. Get a lot.
Magma Jet to, Thrill of Possibility. This one is more discarding cards. Same thing with Demand Answers. You can discard cards. You can sacrifice an artifact, but there's not really artifacts you would sack. Unless you ramp really hard early, then you don't need them anymore. Because you draw into lands. Corrupted Conviction. Yeah, to draw cards. Fake Your Own Death. These ones, Battle Rage, Blessing, Offer, Respect. These ones give Judith indestructible, so you kind of hold on to them, especially if you do have board wipes that touch everything, or if they're going to try to target her with destroying her. Exiling, sadly, will not save her, so you got to be careful with that. This one, Fake Your Own Death, gives her 2, and when she dies, you return her and create a treasure token, so either way, it's pretty good. Fanatical Offering, again, sack something, draw 2 cards, but you can make a map token. Altars Reap, sack. Costly Plunder, sack to draw 2. Rakdos Charm, cool card to destroy target artifact. Exile a graveyard if you need to. Or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Flip a coin. Flick a coin, just here, to give you treasure and deal 1 damage to something. Blood Pact. And Whale of the Nim, which is really, really cool. Because this card regenerates each creature you control. Or it deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. But if you use the Entwine cost, so it's 2 and a black, but if you add 1 more extra black to it, and you have Judith, you can do both modes to ping everything down for 1, but then regenerate your stuff, so your stuff doesn't die. Which I think you did once. But then you kind of opened for an attack because they were all tapped. Because Regenerate says they tapped, but they don't get destroyed. Although, you might have won that game in the long run, I can't remember. We might have recorded that one. I don't know.
I don't remember. I played a lot with this one.
But yeah, it's good.
Fun.
As soon as we built this deck, like you always bring it out every game night. You've played it. Sometimes you play it twice. We all switch a deck around, you just want to burn. You just want to see everyone burn. There's not a lot of creatures in here, and I kind of want to take out more creatures because we don't really need like electrostatic fielders or Kessig. They're here to help like burn, to do extra burn, but I think we need more value stuff or protection when we do some upgrades. So later,
people get scared of Judith.
Yeah, and where I was gonna say I think Jasmine's your most expensive deck at like 140-ish or something like that. This is your cheapest deck at like 40, like $100 less. So we'll see how we upgrade it. Yeah, for creatures with Saraseer, Electrostatic Field, Kessig Flamebird, Blood Artist to ping people down, Gutter Snipe, Morbid Opportunist. If you're able to instant speed also burn people and kill things, you'll draw more cards. Oh, yeah, Hanny. What did you have? Did you have this at like 20 power at one time, right?
Yeah.
Because you sacked the creature, gave it indestructible, and then pinged everything on the board. I don't know if that was the Blasphemous Act one or just something else, but
I did do Blasphemous Act.
With him on the board.
Yeah, I did.
And he stayed. You killed everything, and he got a +1/+1 for every one of the opponent's creatures, and he has haste, so he just swung through. Yeah, we were like, that's a threat. That was scary.
I always become the threat with Judith, though.
Ardent Elements. I know it's the cheapest deck on the table, but like the most threatening. Living Lightning.
Just let me play.
Barbed Servitor, which also helps you draw cards, and has Indestructible, so you want to keep this on the board. That even if you have to ping everything down, it'll help out. Mirkwood Bats, because you're always creating tokens also, so whenever you create or sacrifice tokens, which you do a lot, you drain, each opponent loses a life. Thankfully, you haven't gotten this out while doing all your shenanigans.
Sadly, no.
Brash Taunter, which is a lot like the Barbed Servitor, it is indestructible, but when this is dealt damage, you deal it to a target opponent, and then you can pay 2 in a red, tap it to fight something else. And I think there was a game where that you had a lot of people dead just because he just blocked, took damage, and then you tapped it, fought again. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was funny.
Backdraft Hellkite. This was not in the first version of the deck, but then I started adding in stuff because you need flashback. When you were out a lot of cards, you were done. I
was out.
Yeah, same thing with Charmbreaker's Devils. These are here because we need to reoccur some of those instant and sorceries to keep going. And for artifacts, again, not too much, just the basic ones you need. I think there's 11 pieces of ramp here. I would maybe want to go one more, but not necessary. Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, Arcane Signet, Rakdos Signet, Talisman of Indulgence, Felwar Stone, Thought Vessel, because sometimes you have a lot of hand with all those draw spells, so no maximum hand size. Mind Stone, Rakdos Clue Stone, Rakdos Locket, and Commander Sphere. Mainly because just to help you draw later on. Later in the game, a lot of these instant and sorcery are like a 2 mana, not even that much, 1 to 2 mana. So in the late game, you don't need your ramp. So play them, sack them, whatever. This is a cool, these are the enchantments. This is a cool one that we added in late afterwards, which is you may play it anytime you would play an instant, so you can flash it in. It has flash, basically. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life, which you don't care because with all the life link...
I will have life.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have life. And then for 0, you regenerate enchanted creatures. So you have this on Judith. She basically has pseudo-indestructible. So, yeah, really good. Again, Dark Tutelage, just mainly here. So at the beginning of upkeep, you can reveal the top card of your library, and you put it to your hand, and you lose mana, or you lose life equal to its mana value, which a lot of your stuff is like 1 to 2. So you, again, don't really care about losing life. You're going to gain it right back, especially after a board wipe. But what's funny is, I think the first time you played it, I was like, that's such a good card. Like, I think you showed off Charmbreaker Devils and took 6. So
Yeah.
that was funny. You got one of your most highest value I think that's your highest value. Other than like Blasphemous Act, which is like a 9. So that was really funny. And then Greed, again, a lot of stuff is like 1 to 2 mana. So you can just filter black mana and pay 2 life to draw cards. You don't really care about losing life in this deck. You're going to gain it right back, especially after a Blasphemous Act. And then we added this one. This is cool. Return the Past, Clara. Beautiful episode. What was it? The Time of the Doctor? Where the end of the 12th run, and he finally remembers Clara. So each instant sorcery has flashback while it's your turn. So again, we can reuse those instant sorceries. And we'll quickly just go through the lands. There's not too much craziness, just Command Tower, Exotic Orchard. The Rakdos Carnarium, which we got from the Ravnica Remastered. Oh no, this is from Double Masters or something like that. I can't remember, but I was like, I had nowhere to put this, and I was like, oh, perfect. Judith, because she's part of the Rakdos Guild. Same thing with the Rakdos Guild Gate. Sulphurous Mire, Geothermal Ball. A lot of these are like tap lands anyways, because, again, the Dialect one, Temple of Malice, Bloodfell Cleaves, Occam Refuge, Canyon Slough. Forgotten Cave, these ones are just to discard if we don't need them, or if early game we need them, then, play them down. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 swamps. And 1 Ash Barrens to just discard again to go look for the other color you need, if you need it. But it helps deck thin. So these are just 2 of your deck showcase. I guess the next 2 will be we'll keep that a surprise. You guys will find out later. So this was Puddin with her 2 of her decks right here.
Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. Out of the 2, I guess you said this is your most fun deck, right?
It's more fun, but the Jasmine one's always gonna have a special place.
Special place since it's first. And I want to just say, like, it's not like we talked about this earlier. It's not like this is like 4 years old, but you can kind of see it still shuffles pretty well. It's a little sticky. We're probably gonna change it out soon.
You can't tell by if you do this. Just grab a stack. How clean that looks versus how
I know, because this is one of your
curled this looks.
So.
Oh no.
But for 4, almost 5 years going, like
good.
I can't do like the full deck. It does have a little stickiness to it when you shuffle, but it still shuffles pretty alright comparatively. That's why I say, like, for older sleeves, if you want to keep them topper condition, do the half shuffle, like shuffle half of the deck.
And I can't shuffle anyway.
So again, these are Ultimate Guard katanas that still work to this day. But then when I shuffle these Dragon Shield, the blood red ones, they feel like they have a little more, like, hold. So I'm just saying, like, these are more brand new, and the shuffle feel on these ones still feel a little bit better than the shuffle feel on these ones. I mean, if we double sleeve, they obviously give a little more space and stuff. But yeah, that's just random thoughts at the end of this video. All right, thank you so much for watching. Let us know down below what do you guys think, if you've ever played against or played with these decks. All right, thanks for watching. Peace.
Bye.